strong.
Hello everyone and welcome to G-Dod Lifestyle Channel. In my tutorial number 2, I promised to show you how to interface data from Google MyMaps to Google Earth. So let's begin. As you can see here, I'm already in Google Maps. Remember that I had labeled the holes in Hartfield Golf Club in my tutorial video number 2. So let's go and open that map. It was saved in your places and it was located in menu maps. Under this menu you can see there it is. I've done holes 1 to 18. Let's open this map. And there it is. You can see all the circles, 1, 2, 3, and so forth, to 18. And I also had that layer, the satellite layer, to show you a better view of this golf course. Now, before we go into Google Earth and introduce Google Earth in this video, I would like to add more labels into this. So let's go back to holes 1 to 18 first. This is the layer called Hartfield Golf Course hole 1 to hole 18. Now, when we add another set of data, I would highly recommend to create another layer for that rather than adding it into the existing layer. So for here, I have started doing the men's tees location. So this is where the men position, and in a long hole they would you normally use a driver and perhaps irons for shorter distances holes. So here it is. I'll just um, collapse that a bit. So I'll show you what does it look like in hole 1. Hole 1. So remember I said that this portion here is the men's tees and this is the ladies' tees here. What I would like to do now is in each hole, I would like to label the men's and just position that label in the middle of each tee. So I'll use the um, blue markers for the boys, and for the girls I use the pink one so I can distinguish which of those are for men's and for ladies. So when I click into it, you can see it already given me that latitude and longitude. Now, to add a label, what we can do is first think of a way where we can group them into a data set. So when we do create labels, we not only just put the labels, but we also need to plan how to um, collate them into a usable format later on. So let us go and expand this side panel. And then what I would like to do now is disable the holes labels so you can have a clear view. So what I did is I just did a click here to disable that, and then men's this location. I would like to add something here. So next then is to create, let me disable untitled layer as well because we are not using that. Okay. So for now, since I'm still in Google Maps, this is not really the place where I could put the correct labeling. So again, we'll have to open a map in MyMaps to be able to continue on to our task. So here you can see it again, the men's location, and which I have created that a while ago. Now, since we were talking about adding the ladies' tees as well, we could rename this untitled layer into ladies' tees. And in this, there is a three dots at this right side here where we could rename this layer and say it's the ladies tees location. And that will reserve that space or layer for our other label. Now, zooming in, so we'll do a plus here, and let's start at hole 1. Let's go to this position here where I can label the men's tees. So we'll click this add marker, and let's position each one of them to that point. So let's call this as men's T1, then save. Now, in order for us to continue with the distinguished blue color, let's press or select this color, and then I would like also to show that this is for a person. So let's choose that golf icon, and there it is. You'll get a blue marker for the men's tee, hole number 1. Then as we go on and put our ladies tee here, we can do another marker, and put it here. So let's say ladies tee 1, save. Then I would like this to be the pink, or just a fuchsia like color, and another person icon, and there it is. That's for the ladies tee icon, hole 1. When we go to the left side, we notice that the ladies tee is in the correct layer and the men's tee is not. So in this case, it's a simple way of just dragging that, click it here and drag it to the men's tees location layer. So just as simple as that. So we don't need to worry about having a mistake because we have labeled it. It's just a matter of clicking it and dragging it to the correct location. And then the other thing that we could also create is um, the green position. The green position is for hole 1 is in this one here. Now you can see it's a nice uh, green with a bunker in front at the approach to the green. Now um, let's say that our marker be located in the center or just in the middle of this green portion, and let's call that as um, green 1 to distinguish it from the rest. So hole 1, green 1. And let's do another color for this. Let's say, um, or if we can also number these, that would be good. But let's put a nice aqua color on this one. Um, Probably, maybe it's can be confused as blue, so maybe the yellow marker is better. All right. For this, I would like to do um, a sequencing in this layer. So it will just automatically say it's 1 to 18 green, yeah? Uh, the other way of doing that is first add a layer to group all the green locations. So let me add a layer. See, it added a layer automatically there, and I can now then rename this layer into green location. Let's save, and then let's drag this green one to its correct grouping. There it is. It's now under the layer of green location. Okay, so that's the exercise that we will just have to do um, repeatedly for the other holes. Um, but um, for now, what I would like to show quickly is based on this information in hole 1, I could also add the measurement from the ladies' T and men's T to the green. So if I add a measurement by clicking the ruler to measure the distance, so if I click it in the middle here and right click, that would give me that measurement. And let me zoom out a bit so I can extend this measurement to the middle of the fairway and then just to this location here, and that's 314 to that point there. All right, that would then be another layer if you like, but how to create that in a separate layer? It would be easy if we can add that as a separate layer, right? But given that this is a measurement, in Google My Maps, it's not as easy as doing that here. what I found is that if I add a line, I could probably do that. Yeah. So it's a matter of doing it manually and then saying that that's 314 meters. That's a bit time consuming and a tedious work to do if we are going to continue that activity to hole 18. Now, that is why I would like to introduce to you Google Earth, because it has a functionality that will allow us to do it in a simpler way. Except that currently we are not yet prepared or ready to go to Google Earth yet, because we haven't completed the labeling. Now, in spite of that, if we just skip the measurements for now and say this line here, see, just a quick illustration that this can be also a layer, because see how it added it to the green location. Although again, we can add another layer and put that as say we'll call this as the ladies T to green measurement. Yeah, save that. So what I have there is another layer for the lines, and I can transfer this now to that layer, and there it is. It's called line number 2, and at the same time I can also change that into L to G, which is ladies to green 1 measurement, and say 314 meters. That's my description there. And then the last label I would like to do is the label for the men's T to the green. And that's a measure of, let me check the measurement. Let's click this again and do measure it from that point to this point and to this. So it's a bit longer, and 336 meters for men. Okay, now line number 2, or men's T to green 1 is equal to 336 meters. All good. Now I have labeled the distances and the T's location for ladies and men's, and the green of hole 1. So if I just would like to select this data in hole 1 and try to open them in Google Earth, I can do that as well. So what we could do is just add another layer, and then of that we can export the data. See how easily you could export data once it's in a layer group. Yes. Okay. So ignoring the other holes, if I say I just would like to export the data from hole 1 to Google Earth. Okay, so what we could do is add layer, and then let's change this name and say hole 1 data. Save. And then let's drag anything that's related to hole 1 and move it to this layer here. So there you are. You got hole 1 down in the hole 1 data. You get the mentees as well. Let's, for example, this one, just reposition them into a layer where we could easily export the data and transfer them or view them in Google Earth. Just a simple presentation here. So you can easily pick up with a smaller data set. And then let's move this there. Get the whole one. You get this to drag there. This line to drag there as well. Oops, didn't quite drag that. Okay, and then the green one. So you got all one data ready to be exported. You got the men's T, the ladies T, whole one, the measurement of ladies T to green, men's T to green, and the location of green one. Now, in order for me to view this in Google Earth, I would just simply export the data into a KML or KMZ format. CSV is when you want it on a spreadsheet form. So for now, I'll show you how to export this. So just click download. You don't need to turn this. See, it activated that. So we don't need that for now. We'll just say download, and it should download that data to my Explorer, and it should show it here. So there it is. Whole one data is shown now in my downloads, and I can use that in Google Earth. Okay, so going to Google Earth, we then need to go back to our web and then add a new tab and say Google Earth Pro. So for those who haven't downloaded Google Earth Pro, this is provided by Google, which is also a free software. And as you can see here, it's saying that it's free for users with advanced feature needs. And that's mainly the real reason why I would like to use Google Earth in this activity, because it has better functionality and you can use it for advanced purposes. Now, in my case, I already have Google Earth Pro in my computer. So it's just a matter of clicking that and going to Google Earth. So for you, if you haven't done that download, You can download it and it's free. And you don't have any problems with copyright issues. You can use it for work or for personal use, and yeah, enjoy using it. And I use this a lot as well.